looking at the beautiful skyline of Seattle, Washington. This scene being shot from the rooftop of the Kingdome. Come on inside the dome now. It's Seattle against Washington. Game 3 of the NBA World Championship Series, and 35,000 fans are on hand. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Brent Musburger. Welcome to Game 3. As you know, Seattle won Game 2 back in Landover, so this series is even at a game apiece. Now, however, the SuperSonics have the home court advantage. That is not new for Washington. They lost the edge against first Atlanta and then San Antonio, and they battled back. The SuperSonics are convinced, though, it will not happen a third time. It's a pleasure for me on this Sunday to be working again with Rick Barry and Hot Rod Hundley. Let's go to them now.
Thank you very much, Brendan. Right now, we have a very confident Seattle SuperSonic ball club. They feel that they did an outstanding defensive job, especially in the second half against the Washington Bullet team, and they have more of the same plan for this afternoon. What can the Bullets do, Rod, to try to counteract this?
I think they're going to have to realize that the Seattle team is going to double up on Dandridge when the ball goes down the right side. They're going to expect to double on Hayes from the left. Mata has called it a zone. They've got to get the guards to cut through, get open, create some movement with the ball, and that's going to be the big difference.
Rebounding has been a big key in this series as well. In the first game, the Washington Bullets were able to dominate the boards. They won that ball game. In the second game, it was a situation where Seattle was able to dominate. They were able to win that ball game.
And I think, Rick, that the team that dominates the boards will dominate the game. This is Game 3, World Championship. Let's go to Brent.
All right, Hot Rod, and here are the starters for Dick Motta's Washington Bullets. Dandridge, Hayes, Unseld, Henderson, and Kevin Greavy is all right. I just had a talk with him. And for the home team, the Seattle SuperSonics, it'll be John Johnson, Shelton, Sikma, Dennis Johnson, and the Wizard, Gus Williams, who played so very well in Game 2. The stage is set for Game 3.
The NBA on CBS. Today's NBA World Championship game is sponsored by Chevrolet and your neighborhood Chevrolet dealer, who invite you to test drive the first Chevy of the 80s, Citation. The Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. And by Pioneer High Fidelity Components. Pioneer, we bring it back alive.
Hugh Evans, the referee, number 7, Joe Gashu, and the crew chief, number 11, Jake O'Donnell.
Yes, sir. We are set for the opening tap. Jake O'Donnell is the lead official, number 11, and he will toss it up. Over at the Bullet bench, Mitch Kupchak and Roger Fegley in civilian clothes are trying to find room to sit down. They're down, and the Bullets control the tap in the traveling blue, and Dandridge misses the first shot. Gus Williams is open. DJ goes long, tapped away by Henderson, and out of bounds.
We'll see that long pass again. You see Gus looking at the defensive man, lost the hand a little bit, a little collision there, but no harm, no foul. They're both trying to go for the ball, lost their balance.
They're going to have to get back on him, Brent, a lot early here in the ballgame as they did on this play. Fine defensive effort by the Bullets. He's been breaking away in the first 2 games.
Hot Rod mentioned the key of the series, defense throughout both games. Offensive foul as we check the isolation up tight. Henderson comes across the line now. We'll stay right with the action, not to miss a shot here. Hayes looks in high. Goes down now to Unseld, who turns on Sikma. Is off with the shot taken off by John Johnson, and here's Dennis.
Very unusual, Brent. That time there was not one Washington Bullet going to the offensive boards, and normally they pound those boards very ferociously.
J.J. maneuvering. Marvelous passing forward. Ronnie Shelton from the perimeter. The Sonics are on the board. I'll tell you what to watch for early with the Bullets. Yesterday in practice, Dick Motta said we must move the ball quicker, particularly when they go to the double team.
There it is,
right on there. Passing. There they went, Hot Rod, moving the ball inside. Unseld crashes, score it, and send him to the line.
That's a great play. Beautiful passing there. As we mentioned in the pregame, they're going to double up. They help. The pass comes inside. Henderson shovels to Unseld. He's right there, lays it up. It's a beautiful pass for the basket, and he's fouled on the play. Foul to Shelton. West has a 3-point play.
So DJ calls the play now and brings it across the timeline. Williams will take Henderson down underneath. John Johnson goes to the shot. The option is to hit Williams on that play or go through with the shot. Gus was taken, and so John just came up and fired. Now it's Bobby Dandridge. Unseld picks off Johnson. They hit Greavy on the open side. Got quickly to Dandridge. Good ball movement. And a 3-second violation.
And that happens so many times, as we point out. A man looks like he's going to shoot. That time, Bobby D looked like he had to move to the hoop. His men went to the basket to get good rebounding position. He was forced to pass off, and 3 seconds was the result of the call.
Sigma goes over in the corner to Dennis. Shelton knocks it off to John Johnson. And that's a 3-second violation at the other end. And that should open up both middles.
Both clubs a little cautious here in the early going, and rightfully so.
Dick Motta very intense at the start of this game, kneeling down over near the front of his bench. Billy Wilkins on his feet. Dandridge dueling John Johnson for the shot, through the foul. And here comes Mr. Clutch to the free throw line. We had some marvelous quotes the last 24 hours. They said to Elvin Hayes, Elvin, you're going to have nearly 40,000, the Kingdome. And Elvin looked at the reporter and he said, a gym is just a gym.
This is a GEM, a real gym.
Capital G on this gym, my God. And then it was Dick Motta, whom you just saw over there kneeling down, saying, we got him just where we wanted. And I don't think he had John Johnson where he wanted him that time. Henderson tapped by Williams right to the Big E. Shelton with E. Ian Henderson outside. Rebound. The Wizard, and he's fouled as he stepped inside. Kevin Greavy was over there.
You got to stop penetration. And Gus was able to make this move. He split the defenders here with Greavy and Henderson up. Just made a little move diving down the middle, and he got grabbed on the arm for the foul. It goes to Henderson, his first.
That is the strength of the Sonic guards. Those of you who have not watched them much this year. Gus Williams at the free throw line and Dennis Johnson. They are both extremely quick. And Kevin Greavy was telling me we have to be very, very careful of them, particularly if they get a defensive rebound. They can release so quickly. And on the double team, he said they'll scramble back and get to the other man. So at both ends with that quickness, it makes him so much tougher. Greavy saying the tendon did not bother him much yesterday at practice, and he was looking for a good game today. He's got the ball right now, and Dennis wants him to go left. He's sending him towards Sigma, and they've turned it over. Traveling. Now, as you watch the Sonics set up on this pattern, keep in mind that Unseld and Sigma will be battling away. Jack played very well in game 2. He floats inside, takes the pass, and Elvin Hayes with a great defensive switch, and Sigma comes up over it.
They really switched aggressively on that play.
Hayes wanted the shot all the way and just fired it up. Now, Dennis comes out. Henderson slowed him up. DJ regains control. John Johnson will go to Gus Williams. Got inside at Dandridge, spins. No, he traveled. The ball will go over to the Bullets. Now, Elvin Hayes wanted very badly to get into the offensive flow on that last time, but he might have thrown it up a little bit earlier outside.
There you see the play there. Gus loses the handle. Well, looked like he had his pivot foot down that time. Didn't look like a walk.
Very dangerous man with the ball. Dandridge now inside to Henderson. A nice move by Tommy, but he missed the shot. Now the Sonics come back down. Dennis Johnson scoops it over to Williams, who comes up, and Unseld was blocked. Timeout by the Bullets. Dick Motta will bring the Bullets over.
And he has got to call a timeout. Very smart time as we watch the break come up the floor. DJ passes off to the side. Gus Williams up the floor quickly, right over Wes Unseld with the outstretched arm. 2 points. The Sonics have got their early offense running game going.
Chevrolet invites you to think of yourself in a new Monte Carlo. Think of yourself surrounded by crisp, sculptured lines. Think of yourself enjoying the very real pleasures of owning a Monte Carlo. Think of yourself surrounded with personal luxury, quiet comfort, and a surprising amount of room. And when you've thought about it, come drive one and put a little distance between yourself and the crowd.
For days you fought the mountain for a 90-ton slab of granite. And now you hold your breath while you bring it out until it swings free and clear. Now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find, Miller High Life.
When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear, Miller Beer.
This is one of the great masterpieces in music. Not Beethoven's Fifth, another pioneer first. The CTF 900 cassette deck with fluoroscan metering and advanced computerized controls for virtually distortion-free recordings. The Pioneer CTF 900, the masterpiece that helps you appreciate others, like Beethoven's Fifth or Rod Stewart's latest. Pioneer, we bring it back alive.
Saturday, June 9th, see the 111th running of the Belmont Stakes, the third jewel in racing's Triple Crown on CBS Sports.
The Bullets now have shot but 1 of 6, and they've been out-rebounded 6-1. The Sonics, meanwhile, perfect from the field. Let's keep an eye on Elvin Hayes. They'd like to get him into the flow. The screen is on the other side away from Hayes. Now he goes in low. Here he is on the turnaround with the shot, and he missed. They set the play during the timeout. Dennis quickly one-hands it to the Wizard. Gus Williams now is cut off by Henderson. John will go back, and Henderson with a hand on it, and Dandridge comes out. Dandridge is slowed up momentarily. Now he comes to the middle of the attack. He'll come down the middle of the shot. That's his spot. He's good on that shot, Hot Rod.
That's his one-hand rider, he calls it. That's the toughest shot in basketball. I think when you're moving toward the basket and make that running one-hander without using the glass, you have to put it up softly. He's a master.
They're going to have to watch Dennis Johnson rebounding now. He's already turned in 4. He's out far away from the glass. He'll rotate underneath if he can. Quickly to Sigma, out of bounds, bad pass. Sigma was fronted, not open at all. John Johnson was trying to go back door. Now the Bullets come back down. Will they go inside to Hayes again, or will they let Dandridge go one-on-one against Johnson? They are a forward-oriented team. Dandridge comes out now to the top. Henderson yo-yos the left side, and it'll be Kevin Greavy maneuvering for his shot. Unseld battles it to Elvin. Elvin comes in with power. Missed it, tapped it. Unseld, and the Sonics go retrieving. So the Bullets are missing layup opportunities.
Elvin should have tried to just put that shot up off the glass, but he leaned in. He wanted to try and lay it over the front, and he was short.
Now Williams maneuvered on Henderson. With the quickness, he spun around. Dennis waited and hit it.
He has led the club in assists in this playoff. Dennis Johnson as well as steals, and he's second in points scored.
Overall, I think maybe the most valuable performer so far.
Without question.
We're very early. Dandridge one-on-one, inside pass, and they've turned it over, and here he comes again. Dennis Johnson will go for the basket. So it's 15-6 at 7:07 of the first period. The Sonics with an early spurt. They are 7 of 7 from the field. Hayes comes far away from the basket. He and Henderson clog up and now unclog. Here's Greavy. Unseld takes a shot, and it just won't stay in. Here's Hayes again, and that time.
Elvin got the good inside position. That was a big basket for the Bullets. They needed to break through. The big thing here is Sonics are playing so well. If the Bullets can just hang tough, keep it close, like you say with track and field, Brent, keep contact with the field, they'll be in good shape. Long way to go.
Shelton now rotates through to the middle. Sigma comes behind Dennis's screen. Kevin Greavy was pushing, and he is called for the foul. That is against Kevin, number 1.
There's a play. You see Greavy just shoving away against Dennis Johnson, trying to get through the pick, and then he was called for the foul. Back to live action.
Screen by Shelton is a beauty. Shot is missed. Shelton rebounds, and he came up against Dandridge with an elbow, and Bobby ducked out of the way quickly. Inside back door, John Johnson.
And another fine pass by Dennis Johnson. He really is playing outstanding basketball in this championship series.
He has not played any better than he has right here in the first 4 or 5 minutes of this game. Outstanding.
Now it is Hayes over on the right side, and Unseld goes away, and they drop it off inside now to Dandridge, and there's a foul as he made the spin.
And that was another great defensive play by Dennis Johnson. He made a clean block in that play. We'll see him come to help right there to the left part of your screen. There's JJ, the beautiful block by Dennis, but the foul was called on JJ with the body.
Mr. D for defense. Dennis Johnson out of Pepperdine. 13 brothers, 3 sisters. Didn't play any basketball until he was a junior in high school.
There's a doctor here. His name is Dennis Johnson. He says his phone rings morning, noon, and night. I said, "Are you a big DJ?" He says, "No, I'm Dr. J, and I'm not from Philadelphia."
17-10. Sonics leading by 7. Even though the Bullets have been outplayed, they are still very close early. Johnson comes around the horn. Missed and went battling for the rebound, and it's Shelton. Missed and Dennis Johnson with a left-handed tap in. He has done it all here early.
Brent, it's so noisy in here, you can hardly hear a whistle if it ever does blow out here. The crowd is really pumped up.
Dandridge to the screen, and Williams came right with Henderson that time. The screen was not successful. J.J. to the corner, and Williams couldn't save it. On the turnover, it'll go to the Bullets.
I'll tell you one thing, that's about as good as 6 minutes of basketball as I've ever seen anyone play. Talking about DJ. Here's J.J.'s pass down court. Gus just couldn't quite flag it down and loses the ball out of bounds.
Dandridge pops out. Greavy cuts off the horn. Now they move it to the right. Here's Elvin Hayes, and Lowe and Shelton working well. Anticipated the pass. Williams saved it, and here come the Sonics. A dangerous pass, but it was successful. J.J. crossed the signal. Set shot fouled.
Brent, they have got that running game going, and Dick Motta has called another timeout to try and stem the tide here. I have never seen them in playoff competition, the games we covered, execute this running game so effectively. We see it here. They're just exploding up the floor. Guys are breaking away. They get it up there quickly. They're passing the ball around to the open man. Here's a cross-court pass. Jack Sigmund with the jump shot. The Sonics are playing their best basketball right now.
They say I'm rough. They say I'm mean. But that's the toughest Steeler I've ever seen.
There's only one Steeler I trust with my girl, and it's none of you guys.
Uniroyal presents the Steeler Radial. It's built tough with 2 steel belts, and it's tough to beat when you look at its price from about $45.
Now I've got 4 tough Steelers that escort me everywhere.
The Uniroyal Steeler. You want a tough tire at a price that's fair? You want Uniroyal there.
Taste, we've got taste. Come to a Sheraton showplace. You're gonna love every inch of the place. We've got taste. Taste the Sheraton showplace style. We've got style. Come for a visit and stay for a while. You're sure to leave with a smile on your face. We've got taste. We've got taste. We've got taste.
Smaller cars are the toughest on oil. Their hot, high-revving engines can break down an oil's viscosity in no time. In fact, in an independent lab test of SAE 10W40s, Quaker State and Pennzoil both showed significant breakdown in viscosity. Castrol didn't break down at all. Any oil can resist breaking down in the can. Castrol doesn't break down in your engine. Castrol, the motor oil engineered for smaller cars.
Congratulations to young Rick Mears out of Bakersfield, California. He captured the Indy 500 today, driving a Roger Penske car. He, of course, sat on the pole, and the grand old man, A.J. Foyt, chased him home. He was second. Now, Lenny Wilkins with the Sonics on defense. Are the Sonics playing a zone? There's been a lot of argument about that. Larry Wright's shot is off. The rules state that 5 men can go after the man with the ball, as long as you don't play a spot on the floor. It's a simple double and triple team, according to the officials. Nothing illegal about what they're doing. Greavy reached in over Dennis Johnson. That is Kevin's second foul. Hot Rod, more on the zone.
I think that, yeah, if it is a zone, it's a good one. I can tell you that, Brad. But they are actually just double teaming legally, and the Washington offense is geared to one-on-one play to Hayes and Dandridge. It's easy to double up on them.
Williams is short, and the Big E's got a man. A little short rear, he jumps, and Williams comes down out of bounds.
They're going to call a foul.
They have to call a foul. They've changed the rule a couple of years back. As we see the play come here, Gus Williams, Dennis Johnson, great anticipation. Gus gets his hand to the ball, knocks it away. Harry gets grabbed a little bit. Now he gets bumped out of bounds. There's no such thing as a force out anymore. In the old rules, it would have been a force out. The ball would have gone to Seattle, but now it's a foul that time on Larry Wright.
Okay, you are watching Game 3 of the NBA World Championship, and Wright has just committed his second foul.
This is going to be right in your lap here. As Gus comes over, makes a pump fake. Now watch Larry Wright do the one thing a defensive man should never do, leave his feet. Gus sees he's got him in an awkward and bad position, takes advantage of it, draws the foul.
We hate to harp on it, but the guard play has been a significant difference, particularly in Game 2 and here at the start of Game 3. Now, the Washington Bullets are certainly not alone in having trouble with this man. Gus Williams and Dennis Johnson. They went on a rampage against the Los Angeles Lakers in a couple of games, and they played extremely well in that great series against the Phoenix Suns, which went the distance. Guards today. Seattle's have scored 11 points, and the Bullets are not yet on the scoreboard. I would expect to see Phil Chenier for at least a couple of minutes.
Dennis Johnson has also got 5 rebounds and 4 assists here in the opening quarter.
Dandridge and Greavy now will look. He goes back to Wes Unseld. 7 on the shot clock. Greavy outside, and there's the first basket by a guard, and it came at the right time as far as the Bullets are concerned.
And the defense by Seattle right now is outstanding. They are forcing Washington out of their patterns. They're not allowing them to get the ball inside where they want it, and it's causing considerable problems now for the Washington offense. They are going to have to make an adjustment.
Elvin Hayes with only 1 field goal. That was that inside layup after a tap. Dennis Johnson coming up on Greavy, rattles down 2 more. That is 6 points for DJ. From Wrighton, here's Hayes. Hayes going to go one-on-one. You can see it. Unseld, offensive rebound.
It was not a good shot by the Big E. He forced it, but fortunately for the Bullets, Unseld, like he normally is, was in a good spot to rebound, and he got the layup.
John Johnson coming over to the left. Let us apologize. We have lost power. We're going to continue the audio. Gus Williams has missed a shot. Bobby Dandridge comes down. Now he is fouled by Gus Williams, and it is in the backcourt.
Williams pushing back.
So coming up now to the free throw line will be Bobby Dandridge, number 10. It is 25-14. 2 minutes and 57 seconds to go in the first period. Our power is back here, and I assume it's back in the living room. We are at the mercy now of one camera, so you just bear right with us.
For Williams, number 32.
Seattle has 4 team fouls, and Washington with 5. Dandridge will get 2 free throws on that backcourt foul.
10-point Sonic lead goes down to 9. Downtown, Freddie Brown has checked in. He'll try to swing immediately to the offense. In practice, Wilkins has harped on Brown not to hesitate to go through with a shot and see if he can get the hot hand back. Sigma maneuvering on Wes, and with the height advantage, a sweet turnaround to Jacks.
That's an impossible shot for Wes Unseld or most any defensive man to stop. Turnaround shot by a tall man fading away, virtually impossible to stop it.
So the young blonde from Illinois Wesleyan is 3 of 3. Dandridge comes up jumping on John, and JJ to the rebound. Wright is there, and John Johnson spins on him. Went to Brown, and there was a traveling call.
No place for him to go, actually. What a super move that JJ made, that pirouetting move at midcourt. Then when he handed the ball back to DJ, he went right to him. There it is. Great super move.
And what he
right
should
down
have
the
done,
lane, watch the pass. Right there, DJ runs right into his back for the travel.
Should have stopped at the free throw line that time and see what developed.
Dandridge backs on JJ. Comes in toward the key area. JJ again rebounding. He had 11 in the opening game.
Less than 2 minutes in the quarter.
With the 2-minute call here in the first period from the Kingdome in Seattle. JJ up jumping. Yanked down by Big Wes. Out to Greavy. The Sonics are back on defense. No easy layups. Out of bounds. No foul. Greavy thought he was tomahawked.
That was a good play there. Good call, I think, because Greavy, I thought he was going to say had lost the ball, but he realized he was in a pack of players, so the referee gives him the benefit of the doubt. Your ball. So they go back to Washington.
Here's Hayes, and he is 1 of 7. He's got it back. He's 1 of 8. From behind, and Unseld finally comes away, and they score. Bobby Dandridge only 1 of 4, so they got to get scoring out of Hayes, and Dandridge, as everybody knows.
Well, at least Elvin's keeping the ball alive, and Unseld getting the basket for the second time on a similar play.
Yeah, and Wes is keeping the team in the ball game right now. If it weren't for Wes Unseld on the offensive boards, they'd be in big, big trouble.
Dennis on the turn, drew the foul from Greavy, and that's 3 on Greavy.
There's the foul as Dennis Johnson with the ball, backing in against Greavy. Turn, go up. And now it doesn't even look like he's got a hand on him. I don't believe he even touched him on the shot, but they give him 2 free throws. Did not touch him at all, and that's the reason why Greavy complained on the call.
And it's a big foul, too, because there's number 3 on Kevin. Picked up here in the first period. There's the guard stats. Seattle with 96 points in the first 2 games. Washington with 40 out of the backcourt. One of the things that I've got to give Dick Motta an awful lot of credit for is that he has not alibied one bit about not having Mitch Kupchak in uniform. That is a big factor. He played extremely well in last year's championship series. He gives Big Wes a rest. He comes in, he adds movement to the offense. There he is in his sport coat and shirt. Not once have the Washington Bullets allied with it. Larry Wright across the timeline. It's 29-18. That's the time remaining in the first period, bottom of the screen. Wilkins up yelling. Hayes inside, Camps in the middle. Scored it, and Paul Silas was there and fouled him, the chairman of the boards, and Rick Berry is motioning that he was in there for 3 seconds.
Well, he's made a good move here to fake. Paul Silas had a position of a chance for a three-point play, but he was in the lane before he ever got the ball, and then by the time he caught it, made the pump fake. He was in there a long time, so they got a good break on that one.
With that field goal, Elvin now 2 of 11 as Lenny Wilkins looks on, and the Big E is at the free throw line. If he gets into the flow of things, he can carry this team home.
He's actually in the flow, Brent. The ball just didn't drop it for him. He stayed aggressive. He's not quitting in his shooting. He's going right after it. They'll open up sooner or later.
And right, Hot Rod. I checked his stats for rebounds, 6. And on the turnover, and you check that scoreboard right now, it's 29-21, and the Sonics have outplayed the Bullets, but the score would not indicate by that much. Look at that, they're close.
Dick Motta has to feel very, very good about this. As I said, Brett, the Sonics played the best I've seen them play, and they're only 8 points ahead. A chance to cut it to 6 for the Bullets.
Wright was going back, and Jack Sikma had switched off. Silas with a hand, and West runs it down. Here's Charles Johnson, CJ for the field goal. It was right here in the Kingdome in Game 4 when that man turned the series around last year when he came off Dick Motta's bench. Brown comes around to Sikma pick. Goes to the shot of onside downtown.
They're going to look for the last shot. They're inside 20 minutes. The Bullets will slow it down as Motta yelled at them from the sidelines.
You notice one thing, Brent, the Seattle early offense game stopped almost entirely when Gus Williams went out of the game.
Henrich backs in, goes one-on-one, beats 3 men. Wilkins thought he had traveled, but he did not. 31-25. The end of the first period. So it is Game 3 in the NBA World Championship Series. The Bullets won the first game by 2. Seattle the second by 10. Now they lead after 1 period here in number 3.
You can feel the heat before you even get close. But the only way to kill the flames is to fight them face to face until they finally die, and you lead your men to cooler air and Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find, Miller High Life.
When it's time to relax, we got the beer, Miller beer.
General Motors Terex 3315B, one of the world's heaviest trucks, 234,000 pounds, empty. Chevy's half-ton four-wheel drive pickup, equipped with a standard 6-cylinder engine that's more powerful than you might suspect. Can it pull the Terex? Let's watch. This 6-cylinder Chevy has available automatic transmission, full-time four-wheel drive, and 411 rear axle. The 6-cylinder Chevy pickup, amazingly powerful. Chevy trucks, built to stay tough.
I'm Jamal Wilkes of the Los Angeles Lakers, and I'm concerned. Concerned about the trauma caused by child abuse. I'm concerned about problems faced by the sick, the aged, and the handicapped. I'm concerned about my community, and that's why I support United Way, because they are concerned. United Way, thanks to you, it works for all of us.
The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Basketball Association. Coming up next on CBS, the Memorial Tournament, and Tommy Watson leading by 4 strokes. And Hot Rod, Tommy Watson may now be recognized as the best in the world, perhaps.
He's also the richest this year. He's the leading money winner going away.
You always watch those dollar signs.
Oh, yeah.
Notice that about you. Gus Williams comes across the timeline. We start the second period of this, the third game of the NBA World Championship. Wonderful Wally Walker, 42, is on the floor. Knocked away from Sikma. Loose ball, they go diving for it, and it goes over. It is 31-25.
There's the pass off to the side. Sikma loses the handle on it, but the right arm gives a little shove as he trips, gets called for the foul.
In that first quarter of play, Brent might point out that the guards for Seattle outscored the Bullets 17-4. Big difference.
And here comes Larry Wright, who was disguised as Lonnie in game 1, but he's back to Unseld. Holds up now, moves it quickly over to CJ. Comes up inside, Freddie Brown yelled at him, and Gus Williams comes out with a rebound. Cross court now to the corner, and Freddie Brown, and CJ comes out after him.
He had the ball in good position. CJ will pick up the foul. See, CJ going back underneath. Now he had to come back. Brown with the ball. He's running at him. Way out of position. An easy foul. As Brown maneuvered to the right side.
There's the chairman. Goes back to Williams. Comes up on CJ, and he's short. And there's Bobby D. Right. Goes to Unseld. And it'll go over. He got a hand on it. And Gus Williams had rotated back quickly on defense.
Here's your pass again. Axel West should have had that ball and could have had himself a layup. But he reached with the right hand instead of both hands to try and control it and got away from it.
Gus Williams is all over the floor. Inline to inline, sideline to sideline. Moving it to Freddie Brown now. They go into Sigma. 10 on the shot clock, and Jack hits one up over Unseld.
Hey, Jack Sigma was in a shooting slump for most of the series against Phoenix, but he sure has the touch in this series.
He's perfect today, 4 of 4, and it's 33-25 as a result. The CBS most valuable player at halftime today. Hot Rod Hundley will reveal who we voted for. CJ into the key.
Charles Johnson.
Good quickness on that play to get free, and then went to his little jumper. Usually he'll shoot you to death from the baseline. Brown's open and went to the pass. Williams.
And it's penetration by Seattle. This time it was Brown, but he dished it off to Gus.
Here's for the baseline. Off and Walker rebounds. Williams breaks free now in midcourt. Wright is there, and here's Sigma. Silas maneuvers and goes to the hook shot. Walker comes up over Unseld, loose ball foul.
Wally Walker is first.
There's the hook shot by Paul, a little bit too strong off the glass, off the rim. Wally Walker over the back, picking up the foul. Wes Unseld probably thought he had a fly in his back.
Hayes probably would like to feel it down low, but now he rotates in as Danbridge takes the shot. There's Hayes, comes up on Sigma.
He's only 2 out of 12 in the game, but he has about 7 rebounds.
He threw that shot up higher than he normally does because of Sigma. As Brown hits 2 more for the Sonics.
Grant, it seems as he's shooting the ball a little bit harder also. He had a lot of force behind that ball. He doesn't seem to have the soft touch that he normally does in those turnaround shots and those in-close ones.
He really hasn't gone to that turnaround over there from the left corner, which is probably his best weapon. Brown to the steal. Breaks free. Unseld comes with him.
No match there. Freddie had him beaten all the way. It was not that quick to get back defensively. Freddie just flew right in for the layup.
By far the best that Freddie Brown has played in the 3 games so far.
And again, the early offense back in existence. Gus Williams back in the ball game. He really does wonders for this basketball team.
Johnson from the perimeter was short.
You're not going to get back to the game pumping from way out like that. They got to move the ball and get little better shots, being down by 12. There's the steal by Freddie Brown. Now you'll see him look up, and he sees Unseld, the only man there. There, right there, he took a look, and he says, I'm going to beat him one-on-one. Went right by him, in for the layup, and that put him up. Seattle 39, Bullets 27.
When everything gets there on time, on budget, and intact.
That's Lion Moving and Storage.
That's Transamerica. When you can get more life insurance than you thought you could afford.
That's Occidental Life.
That's Transamerica. When it's your vacation and you fly there for less.
That's Trans International Airlines.
The many companies in the Transamerica family all stand for just one thing. First-rate service at a fair price. That's Transamerica.
Flowers like these don't just happen. They need help from the time foliage appears
Our concern is growing
until you pick them for a bouquet.
Ortho
Orthene insect spray
keeps them going.
kills over 100 harmful insects, including aphids and thrips, and rain won't wash it off once in the plant. Orthene insect spray, more proof that our concern for gardens is always growing.
Always growing.
If your engine isn't starting on cue, put in a fresh set of Champion spark plugs at least once a year. Champion and your engine can make beautiful music together. You can't buy a better plug.
Coming next, CBS Sports takes you to Dublin, Ohio for the Memorial Tournament. That's the Memorial Tournament next. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Now here's what can happen. I want to show you in this last play that Freddie Brown made. You see Larry Wright with the ball. Now Freddie Brown got behind these men. Jack Sickman, he's screened off. Larry can't see him. He sees the man open unsold, and now Freddie anticipates, cuts into the picture, steals the ball, and that's what can happen to you when you're out there on the floor.
So there's our score at 8 minutes and 51 seconds left in the first half. The difference is...
What's this? What's a Musburger? Who did he play for, this guy?
Hot Rod, I don't care what they say as long as they misspell it. All right, the difference is shooting. Washington has shot only 28%. Seattle 65%. Here's Sigma handing back down to the Wizard, who come for the perimeter. Silas dueling for the rebound, knocked it out of bounds against Greg Ballard, was there too.
That's the second bad shot I think that Gus has taken in this game. He's out there some 30 feet.
There's the guard scoring, so he hasn't taken too many bad ones, Rick. 23-6, Seattle over Washington.
No, just two.
Wright comes down. Here's the West. Ballard is in behind Silas. Paul fronting him, denying him the ball. Collision underneath. Loose ball foul call.
On Freddie Brown.
On Fred Brown.
And that's four. That's 3 team fouls now on the Sonics, only 1 on the Bullets.
One thing you can look at that helps Seattle defensively is that Unseld keeps coming out high, and Sigma can lay way off on him to help out.
Andridge hits 2 outside. Well, they have taken a somewhat frustrated Elvin Hayes out. Relax him, cool the big fella off, and they'll go with Greg Ballard, who has been impressive throughout the playoffs for the Bullets. Williams hanging inside, missed the shot, taken off by Dandridge, and here's Wright looking cross court. You come inside, and Sigma is there with a block.
That was great
blonde bomber.
Great defensive communication by Sigma that time.
Williams comes up on Unseld. Good defense on Big West's part. Dandridge looks. Sigma got a hand on it and knocked it out of bounds.
Also had Big Jack in our lap here on that play. He made a good hustling defensive move there. There's the Big E on the sidelines. You can bet he'll come back, and perhaps with confidence.
So it's Wright and Johnson, Ballard, Unseld, and Dandridge on the floor for the champions. The challengers with Silas, Walker, Sigma, Williams, and Brown. Maneuvering is Mr. Clutch. Bobby Dandridge wanted a chance for the three-pointer. So that's 13 for Dandridge. It's 39-31, 7 minutes and 10 seconds to go. First half of game 3. Brown maneuvers with Wright on him. Gets inside of him. Let him go.
It's on Ballard.
Greg Ballard gets the foul, his first.
There's a shot. He turns, Freddie turned to the right. He puts up a little frozen rope here. The ball never really got to the hoop. But leaning into him, Ballard got him on the arm. So Freddie Brown will get 2 free throws. Bullets have 2 team fouls. Seattle 3.
Freddie Brown is out of Iowa, as is his teammate John Johnson. Brown was a starter on this team until an injury put him on the bench, and it turned out to be a very fortunate thing for Brown and the Sonics. He's a marvelous 6th man with starter Lonnie Shelton due back in for Wilkins. Right across the line. Walker watching Dandridge. Bobby backing him in. Comes up with the shot. Score it and send him to the line. One-on-one basketball.
And they're going to Bobby almost exclusively now. And Bobby is responding as he normally does in crucial situations. There's Wally on him. He's got his hand all over. A little bump with the body. That's where the foul was, and the continuation rule in the NBA in effect.
If a man's favorite threads prematurely lose their threads, and the seams in his slacks seem to disappear, then he needs Panatella Clothes by Levi's Sportswear. Panatella slacks, blazers, and suits hold their great looks because they're sewn to the tough standards that made the Levi's name famous for durability. Panatella from Levi's Sportswear, where quality never goes out of style.
Big idea.
The big Delco shock sale. Wherever you see this poster in your neighborhood, AC Delco is making it possible for you to save on Delco shock absorbers. Big shocks with 59% more shock capacity than ordinary 1-inch shocks. Delco regular and heavy duty. Big shocks, big sale, big Delco shock sale.
Thanks, Delco. It really is a big shock.
Sale.
In business, the more efficiently you use your time, the more money you make.
Time is money.
So if you're spending hours dictating letters to far-off places, and hours are spent typing them,
I've got other work to do.
kick the letter habit. Pick up your phone and give them a ring. The phone turns your time into money.
Travel at 6:22.
And again, Rick Mears goes pole to pole to win the Indy 500. 8J Foote. Danny Angayas was third. That average speed is not a record. And we understand it was a rather uneventful race, which is good news for the drivers, of course. No major injuries. And that certainly changes the tone of things throughout the month at Indianapolis. They've never had so many problems down there. Most of them in the courtroom. Dandridge is at the line.
He has 15 points, 4 rebounds, hit 5 of 9 shots from the field. He's off to a real quick start. Normally, as Vince said in the papers, they like to go to him in that fourth quarter in the clutch.
Paul Silas is operating in the pivot with Unseld, looking for the pass. Gus Williams alone, working around the screen on the other side.
Definite missed assignment there defensively. The man guarding the man who screened should have picked up Gus.
Now for the baseline is Charles Johnson. Ballard takes it away and threw it to Brown. There's Williams cut off by Dandridge. Goes back to Brown. Cross court open man is John Johnson, and Dandridge went flying at him.
Look at little CJ rip down that rebound.
35,000 here in the Kingdome in Seattle. Wright bounces to Unseld and moves quickly to Johnson. Coming inside of Williams. Silas had to take it away from West. And there is that offensive rebounding strength of the big man.
That's absolutely super play. Really went after that ball aggressively. CJ firing from that left corner. That's his favorite spot. There, West tips the ball away from Salas, gets it now, goes right back in, puts a shot up, and he's fouled by Salas, his second. We're in the penalty.
As DJ gets back in the game, just going to remark, he's been on the bench a long time, had such a great first quarter, but Wes Unseld is the man solely responsible for keeping the Washington Bullets in close time, and not solely Bobby Dandridge done a fine job also, but those two men are the men carrying this team right now.
16 points for Dandridge and 10 for Unseld. So that's 26 of their 37 points. And, of course, West has been a tower of rebounding strength as he normally is. Dennis Johnson's turnaround, tap back to Williams. Williams, and again it was Dandridge flying out. Loose ball foul underneath as the Big E prepares to return for the Bullets.
The foul will be on Greg Ballard on the rebound play. Now, good rebounding position by the Supersonics. They were inside, and Ballard crashes right over the back of JJ on the rebound play. As all Seattle players blocked out properly. Salas will go out.
Elvin just kind of picked Sigma up and moved him 3 inches there. Deep into the corner. Williams throws it back now to Dennis Johnson. And here's JJ. And there's a whole lot of pushing and shoving going on now. Sigma to the offensive rebound.
There's the penetration we talked about.
Sigma made it easy. 5 of 5.
Elvin had to go over and pick up the penetrating man. DJ missed the shot, and that gave Sigma a free path to the hoop.
Elvin is very physical right now. At both ends, he is exerting himself, even though he missed that shot. He seemed to have his touchback. Shelton short. CJ to the rebound.
amazing little guy. He'll go in there after that rebound. It's like a big man.
Now here's the front line that we're going to see a lot of. Ballard, Hayes, and Dandridge with Kupchak injured. Hayes fouled.
That's a super effort. When you're not hitting outside, he's going right to the boards with that one. He grabbed the rebound and leaned right in and forced the contact to draw the foul. You look at it again, right in traffic. Sigma, Shelton all right there, and he went in and put the shot up to get the foul from Sigma.
This is the lineup Dick Motta and Bernie Bickerstaff talked about using a lot today. When they have to rest Wes Unseld, they'd move Hayes into the pivot, and they'd go with Ballard and Dandridge on the wings. Wright and Johnson at guards, and try to get some speed into the lineup. Hayes, of course, is familiar with that center spot, having played it in college, a lot in his NBA career. Sigma takes down the miss, 45-38, 4:34. First half of game 3. Defensively, Ballard will go over with Shelton. Oregon against Oregon State. Sigma matched against Elvin Hayes. Goes inside to Gus Williams, and there's John Johnson alone, and he's fouled as he comes under the basket.
Well, watch this play again as we got the inside position with the little man. Gus is not able to make the shot, had to shoot over the bigger man, Bobby Dandridge, but nobody boxed out John Johnson, and you can see he picked up the rebound, the basket, and the foul on Ballard, his third.
And Unseld must return because that's 3 fouls on Ballard. Wes Unseld is the fat lady. Every team should have a fat lady like Wes Unseld. 6'7" in all class. Bobby Dandridge now maneuvering for that jump shot on Sigma.
Loose ball foul.
Loose ball foul as CJ and John Johnson went at it. He has called on Shelton too. Shelton is called for the foul.
Now you're in the penalty. So free throws will be taken on the play. Here's the rebound coming off. And JJ and they're fighting. I actually didn't see the contact.
So Hayes moves up to that free throw line with 6 points here in the first half. A sluggish start. And Kevin Greavy watching for the Willett bench. The starting guards.
Keeping those hands forward. Get that shooting hand warmed up. Come on there firing.
Wilkins on his feet in the background. Hayes is 2 of 6 from the free throw line. 3 of 7.
They're really letting him have it behind the basket. Fans up waving and whatever and hooting and hollering.
The Phoenix distraction, right? That's what they used against the Sun. JJ turns now looking in on Dandridge, and DJ went back door. And Charles Johnson said, look, he pushed off on the back door before he got open.
Here's the play again right there with the left hand. Little push by DJ. Charlie had reason to complain.
They want Wright to go into the left. John Johnson was awaiting him. 10 on the shot clock. Wright maneuvers inside. And JJ off for the rebound. Lead to Gus. Gus will pull up. Out underneath from Dennis Johnson. Trying to get position. Is assessed the personal.
He's going to go against DJ. He thought it should go the other way. Try to fake it a little bit going off the court. Lenny Wilkins doesn't like the call. That'll happen at times when you pull up with a fast break like that, Brent, and take that shot from outside. I mean, that's one of Gus's pet moves, and he's very good at it. But if you miss, the players are out of position for a rebound play, and you'll get a foul.
A 10-point difference with Larry Wright, number 32 out of Grambling, 12 of 18 from the field in game 1. He was the most valuable player. Jack Sigma won the award for game 2. As for the overall MVP, well, at CBS, Hakan Hanley will interview our winner. Gus Williams has not shot well from the field. He's 4 of 13 in the first half, but he's had his shots. They just haven't fallen for him. Sigma and Hayes tried to draw the offensive foul. Shelton comes down the baseline on Unseld and then spins back. So with Hayes on Sigma, Unseld is now taking Shelton defensively for the Bullets. West looks in and left alone. A little too much rotation, and here comes Gus. Bullets are back. Gus will pull up. He's left alone. Nobody's stayed with the ball. Somebody's got to come outside on the ball man.
It always helps to pick up the guy with the ball.
Again, see Sigma dropped back in. He got the rebound that time because Unseld missed a shot up front. Had he not taken a shot, Jack would have been there to help out, double up on Hayes.
2:34. First half. Inside Hayes and great anticipation by Sigma. Shelton runs it down like a runaway truck and lost it, and CJ back quickly to right. And Dandridge is open on the left. Bobby with time. Off with the shot, and Charles Johnson hustles down a rebound. Back with the shot is short. Johnson went down, goes to Shelton, says, "What you doing out there, man?" And here's Gus. Gus goes over to DJ. He'll put up the perimeter, and that time Unseld went flying at it.
2 minutes left in the half.
2 minutes first half. 53-41. Dandridge dribbles free. Off now to Charles and back to Bobby. Comes up over Dennis. Wes Unseld, that offensive rebound. Fouled. It would have counted.
Timeout, Bullets.
Brent, he is just incredible the way he gets in there and gets those rebounds. As I said, he's not a great third. You see Bobby miss. Now watch Wes. He came from the other side. You see Shelton didn't box him out. He watched the ball. That gave him a free pass to the ball. He picked it up, drew the foul, almost a chance for a three-pointer.
When it comes to fighting rust, there are two types of people.
I want to do it fast. I want to make it last.
For both, there's Rust-Oleum. Rust-Oleum's original fish oil primer goes right through rust to bare metal, so you get long-lasting protection.
It lasts.
And it comes in handy sprays, so it's easy to apply.
It's fast.
Not to mention 40 beautiful colors.
If you're going to do it fast, you might as well make it last. Good point.
Chevrolet dedicates the new midsize Chevy Malibu wagon to all the new wagon people. People who shop in those great little stores, people who camp in the great outdoors, people with kids and people without, people who haul things inside or out, skiers and surfers and joggers and more. People who enjoy a useful rear door, people who store some nice odds and ends, people who enjoy lots of nice friends. They're coming to Chevy now. You should too. To a fresh new slice of apple pie called Chevy Malibu.
When a $40 million aircraft comes in for a service check, you take charge. In 10 short hours, it's all systems go. Now comes Miller time. Time for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life.
When it's time to relax, and you got the time, then we've got the beer. Miller beer.
Brent, we see that Tom Watson still leading there in the Memorial Tournament, and he is having some year. He's already a three-time winner and just missed winning the Masters, losing in a great playoff. Fuzzy Zeller winning that one, but Tom is really exerting himself, and I think he has established himself as the #1 player.
Wes Unseld's rebounding figure here stands at 8, and he has scored 10 points in the first half of Game 3. The starting guards for the Bullets turned in only 2 points. That was a field goal by Kevin Greavy. Greavy and Tom Henderson started. Henderson was out. He has returned. Henderson and Charles Johnson will work in the backcourt. And here is the penalty free throw for Wes Unseld.
What a physical specimen this man is. He's got that great body inside, and yet, even though he doesn't jump high, he knows position perfectly, and he gets up and clamps the ball. He rarely loses it.
Brown goes now to John Johnson. Dandridge looking for a screen, and there it is. He switches off on Dennis, and they hit Shelton. Hayes is right there battling the ball. Now John Johnson to the screen. No basket. Offensive foul. On the screen, an offensive foul.
Here's the play. Shelton with the ball. Big E right with him. They'll come right off the Johnson screen. He turned and bent over, which is illegal on the shot, and he's called for the foul. And that will take away the basket by Shelton outside.
Silas taking Unseld. Shelton the sign now to Elvin. John Johnson to Dandridge. And here comes E. His spot. There's the double team. He looked for the jump pass to Henderson. John Johnson called for the foul. Marvelous anticipation on JJ's part. Let me see if there was contact.
There's the pass inside right there. JJ knocks the ball away. Looked like he got hit from behind.
That's a big foul. That's number 4 on John Johnson.
Well, that time I thought Elvin Hayes should have taken the shot. He was open and he forced the pass. But they get away with it.
Well, night before last, Dick Motta said he woke up in the middle of the night and said, "I think I'll close practice." I don't know why, I just will. So they closed practice, and they worked long and hard on having Elvin hit the open man as quickly as possible. You're right, Hot Rod, because when he hesitated like that, Henderson wasn't anticipating the pad. Now it's 1:10 to go in the first half. Silas rolled off the screen, Unseld with Brown, and Dennis dumps it back to Shelton. Knocked away by Charles Johnson and out of bounds. Sonics keep it.
Number 22, Walker in.
Only 6 seconds on the shooting clock now, 24-second clock.
The Bullets for this game are shooting only 27%.
And they're only down 9 points, Brent. That's a pretty good position to be in with that poor shooting.
As Mata said, we got them right where we want them.
The dandy little coach. DJ, it's out, loose, Unseld, off with another rebound. Here's Henderson. He'd like to break through and add some points, as that allows the Sonics to slough off him. Dandridge, shot clock at 10. Walker checked in to take him. Goes back now, 5 on the shot clock, 4, 3. High bounce, Unseld taps it up, and goes back. Open man is blocked. He rotated free.
No excuse for that. They let those guards go all the way in, nobody back. Well, that really hurt you going to the final 18 seconds of the first half.
And an 11-point Sonic lead. Time running down.
Perhaps they're trying to lull them into a sense of security.
Dandridge, high, loose, Sonics at the buzzer.
Sonics 55, Bullets 24.
And 35,000 come to their feet to give the Sonics an ovation as they leave at the half, leading the champions by 11.
General Motors does make a lot of cars, but a lot of people don't know that we are the biggest producer of diesel electric locomotives. My kids call it the locomotive factory.
John Schranz, locomotive tester. This is who we are and what we do at General Motors.
We test the final product. When we start the locomotive up for the first time, it rumbles a little bit and it runs. It's just a great feeling. They call us the glory people, but it takes everybody to make a product. Everybody's got to be good. And they are craftsmen in their own way. It's hard to explain. It is a relationship, man and his machine. That engine is probably the best engine in the world. We need the railroad industry. There's no two ways around it. We are part of it, and I think we do a heck of a job.
General Motors. People building transportation to serve people.
If you suffer with athlete's foot, you should know what these students helped us confirm here at the University of New Mexico in a major clinical study. Proof that nothing is more effective than Desinex for treatment of athlete's foot. We used students with sore, itching athlete's foot to test Desinex against the 2 other leading brands. Results? Scientific evidence that short of a prescription, nothing is better than the medicines in Desinex. Nothing. So if you've got athlete's foot, don't blame Desinex.
Sears National Automotive Sale. The battery that starts nearly every car in Indy. The maintenance-free Die Hard. Now at big national savings. Only $49.99 with trade-in. Save $8 on the Die Hard.
It's a good time to save on Sears Dynaglass belted 28 tires because right now they're on sale at 40% off. With 2 fiberglass belts, you get good traction and long mileage.
At Sears.
Earlier this month, we held the girls' finals of our Pepsi Hot Shot competition in Landover, Maryland. Let's join Gary Bender for the competition.
It's time for the girls' national finals of the Pepsi-Cola NBA Hot Shot competition. Over 2 million youngsters started playing in the Hot Shot competition in early summer, narrowing the field down to 2 finalists in 3 age groups. The national director of the Hot Shot competition is the Big O, Oscar Robertson.
Okay, Gary, it's very simple. You have 1 minute to make as many baskets as possible, shooting from 5 different spots on the floor called hot spots, starting from this toughest spot right here.
One of the outstanding shooters in the history of the game, the Big O, attempting a shot from 24 feet out. And that shot is worth 5 points. Now, a bonus of 3 points is awarded if at least one shot is taken from all 5 hot spots. This one, from 15 feet out, is worth 3 points. At least 1 foot must be in the hot spot for the shot to count. From left baseline 15 feet away, this is worth 3 points. And then from 21 feet out, if you hit this one, you got a total of 4 points. The girls must dribble to each one of the areas. And then right baseline from 12 feet away, it's good for 2 points. 2 layups can also be shot for 2 points each. Let's begin the competition. In the girls 9 to 12-year-olds, Carrie Maxwell from Salt Lake City. She's 11 years old, representing the Denver area. You see her time remaining, 15 seconds with 52 points. She tries a three-pointer. This girl comes from a basketball family. She's going to try the three-pointer again. And Carrie Maxwell with 5 seconds left, trying one from left baseline. She finishes with 52 points. Her competition from the Bronx in New York, Cheryl Johnson, 12 years old. Representing the New York area, look what she has to beat. She has to beat 52 points, and she's starting out very cold. Cheryl thinks that more girls should participate in the hot shot competition. She's an outstanding high jumper. She placed first in her competition, and she still can't get the barrel to drop. There it goes. 52-41. Cheryl extremely quick. And now she goes out for the three-pointer. Doesn't get that to go. She'll try the layup. Can't get that to go. And she gets that one to go. 52-45. This will be worth 4 points if she can hit it. Look at the poise she has, and she gets a bonus. And now she hits from the right-hand side. She's down by 2 points. The ball gets away from her. But look at the poise she's showing. She waits, she sets, she shoots, and Cheryl Johnson has won our competition 53, now 55-52. Cheryl Johnson, our champion. And now the girls 16 to 18-year-old from Portland, Oregon, Marlee Lawrence. She's 18, and now she's going to start out with a five-pointer. And then from 21 feet out, if you hit this one, you got a total of 4 points. The girls must dribble to each one of the areas. And then right baseline from 12 feet away, it's good for 2 points. 2 layups can also be shot for 2 points each. Let's begin the competition. In the girls 9 to 12-year-olds, Carrie Maxwell from Salt Lake City. She's 11 years old, representing the Denver area. You see her time remaining, 15 seconds with 52 points. She tries a three-pointer. This girl comes from a basketball family. She's going to try the three-pointer again. And Carrie Maxwell with 5 seconds left, trying one from left baseline. She finishes with 52 points. Her competition from the Bronx in New York, Cheryl Johnson, 12 years old. Representing the New York area, look what she has to beat. She has to beat 52 points, and she's starting out very cold. Cheryl thinks that more girls should participate in the hot shot competition. She's an outstanding high jumper. She placed first in her competition, and she still can't get the barrel to drop. There it goes. 52-41. Cheryl extremely quick. And now she goes out for the three-pointer. Doesn't get that to go. She'll try the layup. Can't get that to go. And she gets that one to go. 52-45. This will be worth 4 points if she can hit it. Look at the poise she has, and she gets a bonus. And now she hits from the right-hand side. She's down by 2 points. The ball gets away from her. But look at the poise she's showing. She waits, she sets, she shoots, and Cheryl Johnson has won our competition 53, now 55-52. Cheryl Johnson, our champion. And now the girls 16 to 18-year-old from Portland, Oregon, Marlee Lawrence. She's 18, and now she's going to start out with a 5-pointer. She got it. She has to make up a lot of ground because she's been very cold, so she's going for the 5-pointer from 24 feet away. Can't get that one to drop. And Marlee Lawrence is going to finish with 58 points. Her competition from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 16-year-old Terry Kowalczyk. And look at her score. She has already won the competition. Her first 2 rounds total up more than the 3 rounds of Marlee Lawrence. This southpaw has just been so consistent with her shooting. She wants someday to become a sports writer, as she's interested in all the sports. And Terry Kowalczyk from the right baseline gets 2 more points, and she is our champion. She's going to finish with a total of 90 points. And now the 13 to 15-year-old age group. Sandy Harding from Auburn, New York, 13 years old. And she has a total of now 77 points, trying the 2-point layup. She misses 2 of them, but she tries and gets a 3rd one to go. She was last year's national champ of the 9 to 12 age group. She's been one of the most consistent hotshot players and maybe the fastest, but right now she just can't get the ball to go down for her. And that's not like Sandy Harding. She's continuing to fire away. She's going out now to the 4-point area, and it will not go for her. She's got one last chance now, and it won't go. A total of 82 points. And now from North Glen, Colorado, representing the Denver area, Nancy Saul, 15 years old. Now look, she needs 26 points to win, and she's trying the 5-pointer right away. And then she follows with the 2 layups for a total of 4 points. But she certainly has her work cut out for her. With 45 seconds to go, she'll try one from the left baseline. An outstanding diver. She was a 3-meter champion in the state of Colorado. She still can't seem to find the range. Now she'll go out and attempt one from 15 feet. She hits it, and she also got the bonus. 82-69, and she has hit her 2nd in a row. Nancy Saul is red hot. Look at that, 3 in a row. She's got a chance now with 18 seconds, 4 in a row. Nancy Saul's going to have to hit them all as she's running out of time. There's 5 in a row for Nancy Saul. What an outstanding shooting exhibition. 6 in a row, and she's won it. And let's see if she can make 7 in a row. She does, and what a job by Nancy Saul, our champion. So let's meet the 78-79 national winners in the girls' competition. Cheryl Johnson, 9 to 12-year-old group. Nancy Saul, 13 to 15-year-old group. And Terry Kowalczyk, 16 to 18-year-old group. The Pepsi-Cola NBA Hotshot program begins a new season this summer. Watch for information at local youth organizations in your area.
The NBA on CBS will continue after this word from your local station.
A deaf mute since childhood, charged with murder, unable to defend himself. Paul Sorvino and LeVar Burton star in Dummy, Sunday at 9, 8 Central.
This is CBS.
Basketball game, in person or on TV, you are watching 10 of the best basketball players in the whole world. And that's something.
Time now for the Chevrolet Player of the Year, as voted by us at CBS, and it goes to Elvin Hayes of Washington, and in Landover, Maryland, Hot Rod spoke to the Big E.
All season long, it has been my pleasure to be a part of the CBS crew that selects the most valuable player on the NBA Game of the Week. Chevrolet awards a $1,000 scholarship to the university that player attended. And on the year, over $60,000 is going to universities throughout the country where all the great basketball players of the NBA played as collegians. And at this time, I would like to welcome back the General Sales Manager of Chevrolet, Mr. Bob Cook, who will make the presentation.
Rod, it's good to be here.
Now, Bob, before you make that presentation, I know that you would probably like to reflect on exactly where this scholarship money goes.
Well, we're very proud to be able to assist students through college and universities' general scholarship funds. As you know, the General Scholarship Fund benefits all students regardless of what courses they're pursuing. One of the biggest challenges today facing young people is finding money to fund an education. And we're very pleased to be able to assist these students by helping many of them through our donations to the General Scholarship Funds. I want to thank you and the other CBS sportscasters for a fine job. They were great games, exciting finishes, and I guess that's no surprise considering the kind of talent that we have in the NBA.
A lot of great talent, and the gentleman that won this award is richly deserving. He went up against players like Moses Malone of the Houston Rockets, George Gervin of the San Antonio Spurs, Walt Davis of the Phoenix Suns, and many, many more. And in Washington, they call him the Big E. That's Elvin Hayes, and he has done it all. Rebounded, shot well, and played great basketball for the defending world champions.
Elvin, it's a real pleasure to present you Chevrolet's Player of the Year trophy. You know, we've watched you come up with a big play in crucial situations, making important clutch point or taking a rebound, and you've been doing it consistently. The statistics speak for themselves. You're one of only 6 players in the NBA to reach 20,000 points and 10,000 rebounds. Now, in addition to this trophy, the University of Houston will receive a $5,000 scholarship in your name to the General Scholarship Fund. Congratulations to you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to give honor and glory to God, and on behalf of the University of Houston, the Washington Bullets, and my teammates and my family, I'd like to thank CBS and Chevrolet for this Player of the Year trophy. And it's one of the things throughout my career have eluded me, and it comes at the right time of my career, and I'm very appreciative of it.
Elvin, I guess Brent finally gave you a vote, big guy.
Finally, much one out of it.
You deserved it. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, Bob, and Chevrolet for coming down to make this presentation.
Our pleasure.
And we want to remind everyone that in the future, the Chevrolet Coach of the Year will be coming up soon.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Hey, where you been? It wasn't easy getting tickets for this game.
Here, Bob.
Eddie, I know exactly what I want. I want the biggest steak you got and a bottle of Lowenbrow. Steak and Lowenbrow. Dolan, you're a genius.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Here's to the chef. Here's to the bartender.
Got a big load to haul? Get a tough Chevy van. The 125-inch wheelbase model handles plenty of cargo. It's also got a wider sliding side door opening and wider and higher rear doors than its 2 closest sales competitors. Now, check these dimensions. Rear doors to engine, rear doors to seat, floor to roof. And look at that turning circle. Got a tough job? Get a tough Chevy van.
Chevy trucks, built to stay tough.
Wherever you find a famous face, you'll find a paparazzi. His camera, a gutsy Olympus. He uses Olympus because when you're after people who don't look up and say cheese, you need a camera this light and compact, not to mention this versatile. That's why so many professionals count on rugged Olympus cameras. They know Olympus brings the news back for the front page. You know our pictures. Now you know our name, Olympus.
Hi, I'm Wes Unseld of the Washington Bullets. Let's face it, Vietnam was a time a lot of people will just as soon forget. But in forgetting that time, we've also forgotten the people who served in Vietnam. Join Americans everywhere in remembering these veterans as part of the National Salute to Vietnam-era veterans, May 28th to June 2nd.
Oh, man, let's have fun.
The NBA on CBS is sponsored by Alcoa, producer of energy-saving aluminum, and by Gillette, makers of Atra, America's original pivoting head razor.
So congratulations to the Big E, who wins the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the Year award. Hot Rod, I know you and I voted for him. Rick, who'd you vote for, yourself?
I voted for Jake O'Donnell.
I thought maybe you wanted to make it unanimous.
Now we'll have to go to Tony Vernon, Center.
All right, we're also going to have a player of the game the rest of the way during the championship series, even though the Chevrolet MVP award for each game now is over. But we will choose a player of the game. And Rick, who would you like after the first half out here for Seattle?
Well, I don't know. I just want to know that if we disagree, does Bob Stenner get to break the tie or Tony Verna?
Either our producer or our director will get to do it. We are ready now to start the third period. It is 55-44. The Sonics over the Bullets, and statistically, Hot Rod, that field goal percentage really adding up.
That was the difference, 53% for Seattle, and the Bullets hit only 26%. Elvin went 2 for 13 from the field. CJ hit only 2 of 10, and Sigma was 5 for 5 for Seattle, and Freddie Brown 4 for 4.
John Johnson sends it back to Dennis. DJ, and here's Gus. Hayes with Sickman. Jack to that turnaround. Yanked off again by Unseld. He is keeping the Bullets in the game, as Rick pointed out, with that rebounding. Reeby shot is off. Sigma goes to Williams. Quickly now to JJ. Dandridge watching, and Dennis goes backdoor behind the back from JJ. The Johnson connection makes it 57-44.
That super pass behind the back, one bounce right on the money.
Henderson looking to get on that scoreboard.
An interesting statistic, Brent. The front line of the Bullets, the starting front line, they did not pick up one personal foul, and with that, that's impossible in half of basketball that somebody didn't commit a foul out there.
The Bullets shot only 25% in that first half. The Sonics 53.
That's another reason they're behind, because they didn't commit a foul. If you're committing fouls, you're being aggressive.
Shelton was short, and the Bullets get an opportunity with Greavy. Oh, he missed the shot. Bullets can't put anything away. Hayes off now to Henderson underneath. Dandridge maneuvers, and now Bobby Dandridge is 6 of 14. Hayes was 2 of 13. Unseld 4 of 10, but yet he yanked down 9 rebounds. Hayes had 8.
Brent, I can't believe that the Washington Bullets are going to continue to shoot that poorly, and they have to feel, again, stress that very good about the fact that they're only trailing by 11 points. I mean, they could easily be behind by 20 or more.
Shelton sends it back, Rick, over to JJ on the left. Shelton to the screen. John Johnson misses Hayes. Sends it off now to Henderson. Dandridge drops it inside to Unseld. Shelton rebound.
Took that shot a little bit too quick. West should have taken a little more time. I think he may have had himself a basket.
DJ goes over now to John. Looking for the open man underneath. Shot clock goes down to 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In time.
6 out of 7 now from the field. He missed his first shot to start this quarter. Comes right back and hits outside.
Sigma has been marvelous the last 2 games for Lenny Wilkins. Mata now kneeling down. 59-46 as the Sonic lead starts to grow. Hayes low on the left side. Up on Shelton. Dennis Johnson underhands it as he was going out of bounds. Dandridge brings it back down for the Bullets. Cross to Greavy, inside of Williams, Unseld, and a loose ball foul, and there will be a timeout.
That'll be on Unseld. He shoved off on the rebound play. You watch Greavy go after the left side, put the leap and leader shot up, intimidation by Shelton that comes off, and West climbs the back to get the rebound. It's called for foul.
Come on, baby, try the right guard line twist. Come on, baby, try the right guard line twist. Brand new right guard, lime deodorant stick.
New Right Guard Lime Stick.
The same all-day protection as regular Right Guard with a fresh lime twist.
Try the Right Guard Lime Twist.
New from Right Guard.
Lime deodorant stick.
He wasn't before. Now he's an Atra. He wasn't before. Now he's an Atra. Now he's an Atra.
Gillette Atra, the pivoting head razor 8 out of 10 triers preferred to the razor they'd used before. Superior face-hugging action with new micro-smooth twin blades make Atra Gillette's best shave. So,
Don't be a before. Move up to Atra. Alcoa can't wait.
It's simple. A lighter car will use less gasoline. That's why designers and stylists in Detroit are using and considering more aluminum than ever before for hoods, doors, wheels, and over 24 other applications. Detroit is as interested in saving energy as you are. And strong, lightweight aluminum is part of the picture.
We can't wait for tomorrow. Alcoa can't wait.
Next Saturday, the U.S. takes on the world in the new-look CBS Sports Spectacular. Gymnast Kathy Johnson and Kurt Thomas go against the Russians and East Germans. And WBA's #1 ranked contender, Kali Kanotsi, takes on John Tate, ranked 3rd by the WBA. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Sylvia Schulman, the wife of the Sonics owner, broke into the news, and so she's got her own banner. Give 'em hell, Mrs. Schulman. And that refers to how she backed up Lenny Wilkins and the rest of the Sonics after Game 1 when she tore into the referees.
And that was Mrs. Wilkins.
Maryland. Hey.
Maryland was not involved with Sylvia Schulman after Game 1.
But she backs up her husband.
She's got a Charlie Shelton. And Phil Chenier is on the floor. So with 8:46 to go, Chenier gets a shot. Here he is, number 45. Gives it back to Larry Wright. They hand it to Wright. Holds it high. Unseld. Tried to pick Gus off, and he did in time. He gave Wright just enough breathing room. Good pick. Dennis Johnson over on the left side. Unseld pushing against Sigma. Now Hayes takes him one-on-one. Pushing foul called as Sigma put it on the floor, and Hayes assessed the personal.
Here you see Hayes now on Jack. Got his hands on him down low. He gets hands on him again as he makes the move. He calls the foul.
Gus and Sigma. No foul call. Wait, now there's one after the basket by Sigma. Sigma was fouled. I thought he put a saddle on him underneath.
When it's more aggressive, you watch the play here. Gus went underneath. Intimidation by Hayes. He missed a shot. And then Sigma came right in to grab the rebound. They called the foul on Hayes, but Sigma, I thought, came over his back on that play. His elbow was inside.
Certainly looked like he climbed up like a ladder.
Oh, he got to the top of Mount Hayes that time.
He used a little bit of stepping stone of Mount Unseld.
Oh, the blonde bomber. So it's 8 minutes, and Jack Sigma makes his first trip to the free throw line in this series. Wright sends it into Unseld. West comes up with a little shot, and it's 62-50. It's a 12-point lead by the Sonics at 7:47. Chenier will take Dennis Johnson.
And that's 3 team fouls now on the Bullets. None on the Sonics here in the third quarter.
Shelton is maneuvering inside. Took the pass. Put it on the floor against Hayes. Elvin was right there, and a foul is called.
Well, the Big East had no fouls in the first half. Picks up 2 quick ones here. That's a 4th team foul. 14 action going on there between Unseld and Sigma. Here we see the move. Wright's his hand is on him there. Now he gets body contact. Again, he left his feet, even though Shelton initiated the contact.
They forced the move by jumping into him. Rick, a lot of guys do that in the NBA, in particular when they're underneath the basket. Go in, then lean into the guy and force him.
It's called a muscle shot. Muscling in. I have trouble doing that one.
6'8", and you're a small forward.
Right.
63-50 at 7:27 in the third.
Small, slow, and old.
DJ with Chenier as Dick Motta tries to find a hot-handed guard. Chenier's first shot misfired over everything. DJ was there. Hayes traveled.
You know, it's always amazed me, Brent, how they can call traveling on you when you never have possession of the basketball. I've always tried to figure that one out.
There it is. Ball loose. He's fighting to pick it up. Now he's got it. He never moved.
That time he did. He took 2 steps once he had the ball back in his hands. Good call.
Elvin Hayes was talking to Sigma as the two came down the floor. A little conversation going on. Elvin is on Shelton. Sigma with the line out. Seeing it over. It'll go down to the Bullets, and the Sonics will take a timeout.
Shelton has looked right over Dennis Johnson and said, good play, don't worry about it. His pass was there, but it got away. Timeout.
Simonize announces a new car wax that not only beads up the rain, but also stands up to the sun. Introducing Simonize Shines Like the Sun. The new premium car wax that starts brighter, stays brighter than the leading premium wax. Come rain or come shine. Use Simonize Shines Like the Sun. It starts brighter, stays brighter than the leading premium wax.
Chevrolet demonstrates the hidden cargo space in the 1980 Chevy Citation.
It's the first Chevy of the 80s.
Chevy Citation's a whole new kind of compact car with hatchback convenience plus this panel to keep your valuable cargo from being seen.
This could be the car you had in mind.
Take a Citation demonstration drive at your Chevy dealers today.
Chevy Citation.
The Miller people promised me a case of light beer if I could keep this ball spinning for the length of this commercial. Now, I'm not one to show off, but I do just about anything for a few light beers. You see, light's got 1/3 less calories than the regular beer and it's less filling, so I can stay loose. But the thing I like best is the taste. And I believe at this time that somebody here owes me a case of that taste. Thanks a lot, boys. See you around.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Hey, Charlie.
Tommy Watson holding on and even increasing that lead at the Memorial. Will be going there at the end of this championship game. Jack Sigma's line, 7 of 8 from the field, 1-on-1 free throw, 15 points, 12 rebounds. And on defense right now, he's lurking in the middle, waiting for Big West. As Hayes came inside, Lonnie Shelton was on him and the foul was called.
They're just collapsing again. Right here, they come in to help out. Shelton gets called for the foul. Gus dropped back in along with Dennis Johnson. No way that he could even turn inside. There's 3 fouls on Shelton.
Sigma keeps an eye on Unsell. Shot is off, and Shelton had forced Hayes out. Here's Gus. Bullets are back. Gus Bullock. Go back the other way. The Bullets.
They need to find somebody with a hot hand like they did in the first game with Larry Wright.
Those guards now are 4 of 26 for the Bullets. Rolling hook by Wes is short. Here's Dennis Johnson. Wants Gus. Gus comes through the middle and kept control of the ball. He had lost it, almost traveled.
That was just great body control. As Gus just lost the ball and gained control of it, still laid it in as he knifed through 2 men.
Carice's point for the Bullets. This is the biggest lead of the game.
Let's look at Gus's last move. Here he comes up the floor, catches the ball, makes a good move in between. Here he loses the ball, still can maintain his composure, keeps his control, is able to shoot it on the way down for 2 points. That's just a great athlete right there, being able to do that.
Fortunate the ball got away up in front of him, and he caught it while in the air, which was legal. He never came down with it, and he got the basket.
35-year-old Paul Silas checks in. John Johnson will go out with 5 fouls.
Good point there. 5 big ones and a lot of time left. 5:50 third quarter.
Dandridge's runner misses. Offensive rebound though for the Bullets, and Sigma stuck, and so did West. Boy, that Jack Sigma, he is not backing away from Elvin or West underneath. I'm not sure I've ever seen him play as aggressively as he has in this series, and he's got the ball right now. Inside to DJ. Spins on Chenier, and Phil was there. Offensive rebound, Shelton, knocked free by Wright. Now it's Gus Williams outside from the corner.
Brent, to point out about Sigma. He's averaging 16.5 rebounds in this championship series. That's 4 a game more than during the regular season.
Chenier, and Dennis stuffs it, and the foul is called. I thought it was clean all the way. I thought he got the ball in the air.
Dennis Johnson now on defense, isolated. Let's take a look at the play. There he is. He drops in the middle. Sees the pass going out, times himself, goes out after the ball. We can't really see what he did because it was out of the frame.
I got to agree with him. It looked like he went right by him, though. And he had made the block. No body contact. But they called a foul. He was visibly upset.
Foul called inside. Are we in the penalty?
Huh? They're not in the penalty. That was a mess up by the officials right here. That's a jump ball.
Jump ball. They thought they were in the penalty when he stopped it.
There was no penalty. That was a live basketball. Everybody stopped play.
Absolutely. 3 teams fouls against Seattle and 4 on Washington. Neither club is in the penalty, so they'll jump it up.
They stop the live ball and go to the jump. Hayes and Sigma, and it goes to Wright. Silas to Williams. Chenier is there, and Gus from the perimeter.
Nicolata's got to call a timeout, Fred. There he is. He's just called a timeout. They're 17 points down right now. The Sonics are getting their running game going. Bullets can't seem to get out the schneid as far as shooting. They just can't get anything in the basket. They have got to regroup if they expect to get back into this game.
Gentlemen on your right, Paul Revere, Aaron Burr, Alexander Hamilton. And here we have Dave Lennox building his first furnace. Dave Lennox believes the dealer who installs Lennox equipment is as important as the product. Today, your independent Lennox dealer is the plus you get with efficient Lennox air conditioning and heating.
Attaboy, Dave.
He's in the yellow pages.
Can the 19 3/4 cent Bic shaver shave as well as a Track 2? We went to the Cheeks of America to check it out.
No difference. I can't tell the difference. To me, there's absolutely no difference.
In our test, 58% found the Bic shave equal to or better than the Track 2 shave. Yet 4 Bic shavers are an incredible 79 cents. Why spend more when there's
no difference?
What about the price?
Big difference.
No, I honestly do. I honestly like Sears. I wouldn't be here right now, would I? And I do like the Junior Bazaar. They have some really nice clothes. They do keep current styles as far as the clothes. And since I just got a new apartment, I came here today to shop for everything from curtains to lingerie. Sears is fantastic.
Sears, 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 where America shops.
42 Ballard now playing for the Bullets. A mile and a half is all that separates Spectacular Bid from the Triple Crown that Affirmed won a year ago. Super Horse, and on June 9th, CBS will be there. Today's attendance, 35,928. The third largest crowd in NBA playoff history. Watching, whistle away from the ball that time with 4 minutes and 41 seconds to go in period number 3. The Sonics in command by 17, 69 to 52.
That was DJ fouling away from the ball. Back in play to Washington.
Ballard is short. There's that young man. He lost control. Jack Sigma was trying to get the ball over to Gus and lost it out of bounds.
Now let's watch Jack Sigma here. See him go to the boards. You see Shelton right there just killing Elvin. Look at him throwing that left elbow.
That is obvious foul he got away with on that play. I mean, he really was riding Elvin right off the board.
Dandridge. Ballard ran it down. Unseld falls and gets it over to Wright. From the corner, Dandridge is open.
I want to tell you that Big E and Shelton are really going at it. They look like two gladiators trying to survive.
Dandridge now has been switched to guard as Chenier goes out. This is the second time in the series that Matta's made this move. He made it in game 2 in Landover. The problems at guard mount. Williams hits 2 more.
Dennis Johnson has played it very well in that first time that Dandridge went back to the guard. That's 4 in a row for Gus on that shot.
Dennis perhaps plays Dandridge even better than John Johnson.
I would have to think so, definitely. Take nothing away from JJ, but Dennis is probably the supreme guard defensively in the NBA.
Hayes with 3 for 2.
Shelton's fourth foul as Hayes gets 2 free throws.
And the distraction in the background. It looks like a bonfire rally up there that Hayes is shooting into the midst of. They sit down now. Get ready. They'll start their distraction here soon. They don't like to waste their energy. Here they come.
Here's that big lineup now, Brent. You got Henderson replacing Wright. Henderson and Dandridge at the guard, 6'4" and 6'6". Up front with Unseld, Hayes, and Ballard.
So the Bullets will try to bang back in, if nothing else now. Backdoor.
What a beautiful play, the old sucker play. That took a great pass by Gus Williams and a beautiful play that time by Dennis Johnson.
One thing it adds to that Dandridge is playing in an unknown position at a guard, and defensively they set him up.
Williams knocked it free. Dennis with a hand knocked it out of bounds.
Here we see moments ago the great pass by Gus Williams. Dennis Johnson up there to stuff it home.
Bobby cut completely out of the play, way behind his man.
Hayes jumps up on Silas. Unseld offensive rebound. And Hayes over there against Silas.
Let's watch the action underneath the boards. It's been hot and heavy.
Officials timeout.
He'll take a look at it right now. There's the shot by Unseld. Now watch Hayes. There's Silas. He doesn't like him on his back. He gives him a little shove off. This happened about a minute ago. Now watch Silas and Hayes right here. Here you see Paul trying to front him, prevent him from going where he wants to go. Look at all this contact out here. This is supposed to be a non-contact sport.
Since when?
That's what I'd like to know.
Well, Jake O'Donnell simply called the captains together. Wes Unseld and Freddie Brown told him to cool off, and Elvin Hayes is playing out of frustration. He is 2 of 16. No field goals since the first quarter. Total of 9 points and 12 rebounds. DJ comes around, Sickner's screen. Jack rolls inside, and there's Gus again. This time it works the other way.
Great pass, Rod.
Unbelievable. Boy, he threaded the needle, baseball to right under, Gus was there for the layup.
Dandridge. Unseld and Silas battling, and foul call.
And again, Wes Unseld, the man who is responsible on the boards for keeping Washington in this game. Here's the shot again. Here's Wes coming over. He doesn't get screened out again. There he goes with the tip. He gets fouled by Silas in the arms. Brent, I cannot believe that Wes Unseld doesn't have somebody assigned to screening him out just about every time unless a man's coming in for a layup. I mean, you've got to keep that man off the boards. And even then, he'll walk you off the court.
I wouldn't want that assignment.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
That's a Silas stepped in over the line on the free throw, but he made it, so it counts. The ball's in play. Had he missed it, he would have had another free throw.
It'd be hard to imagine Seattle playing any better than they have in this game. Their offense and defense. Now that's a bad pass. Ballard was right there. Henderson goes over to Gregg, who comes up on Wally Walker, and is short, and Henderson yanks it down. Throws up a miss. And it goes over.
But I tell you right now, they're going to have to start calling a little bit closer underneath the basket because there's a little frustration on the part. Look at the contact underneath there. Look at Paul backing up on E. Men charging into another, bodies colliding. They could easily have a fight out here if they're not careful.
Sickman turns on Wes and hits the shot.
They have a fight. I'm going for you, Brent.
You won't be the only one. 8 of 9 for young Sigma.
It's a game of matchups.
There aren't any good heavyweights left anywhere. Unseld goes to Henderson. Back to Dandridge. On his runner, he put it up over DJ. 77-62. 135. And as Williams spun, Henderson fouled him.
That will be the penalty situation now. There's the play right there with the body. Tommy moving up, give him a little bump. Gus will go to the foul line.
Phil Chenier, after a brief try at guard, back on Dick Mahler's bench.
You got to marvel at the way old Gus, when a shot is missed by the Bullets, he just rolls out of there in a hurry. And everyone who gets the rebound, they look quickly down court. He gets the ball for some man in front of him. He just challenges him one-on-one, and normally will beat him.
Henderson spinning on Sigma with a field goal, and that is his first field goal of the game. Total of 3 points for Tom Henderson. 1:18 left in the third. Dandridge is picked off by Sigma, and Dennis goes inside to Gus.
Well, Gus didn't shoot well in the first half. He's turning it on now. That's 6 points in a row for Gus.
Henderson on the jumper, and 2 field goals in a row for Thomas. Johnson waits.
That was 6 baskets in a row for Gus. Not points, 6 straight hoops.
Inside, deflected out of bounds. Sonics keep it, and here comes Freddie Brown, and Gus Williams gets a round of applause as he goes out.
Freddie Brown, all he did in the first half was make 4 out of 4. No misses. These guards have been sensational.
They're waiting for an error play. You just saw it in the picture go off the court. That's what the pause was.
DJ does it all. He grabbed the airplane right out of the air.
Snapped it out with that quick hand. That's one of the engineers from Boeing spending his day off here. Miss on the shot. Hayes got a hand on it out of bounds.
Salas realized it, and he let the ball go. Smart play. Knew it would go right back to Seattle.
32 seconds left. Center your screen, third period.
Bullets should be able to get a shot here, even though Seattle's running the shot clock down. They should get another crack if they can get a rebound.
Hey, well, Wes Unseld was doing
comes out, and Dandridge with him. They were double teaming Dennis, and Sigma was alone.
Wes Unseld is just totally manhandling Jack Sigma out here. He's forearming him, putting his hands all over him, and Jack not getting frustrated by it. You have to admire his composure.
DJ is off. Loose. Sigma with 6 seconds missed. Bullets have got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. End of the third period. And the Sigma stayed right with it. Defensively missed the shot, but he came back out here. He had a little bit more time left than he thought. Might have made a couple of passes. The end of 3. Seattle 81. Washington 66.
There have been a lot of changes, new faces on the scene. A whole new crop of heroes whose style is living fresh and clean. New tastes, new directions, refreshing points of view. And 7-Up so crisp and clear, the taste that turned into moving up, bend up, reaching up, right up. America is turning 7-Up. Looking up, right up, feeling up, being up. America is turning 7-Up.
The NBA on CBS will continue after this word from your local station. On the CBS Tuesday night movie, teenage violence erupts in The Survival of Dana, a dramatic story of children in rebellion. The Survival of Dana, Tuesday night at 9, 8 Central and Mountain on CBS.
With me is George Maloof, who, pending approval of the Board of Governors, will be the new owner of the Houston Rockets. George, why did you want to get involved with pro basketball?
Of course, I've always loved athletics. I've always loved basketball. and I think NBA basketball is the most exciting in the world.
What do you think about this playoff competition here in the Kingdome?
It's absolutely tremendous. Never been this excited at a basketball game.
Well, I hope that we can be out here next year playing, and I won't be broadcasting. You'll be watching.
Thank you very much.
The Bullets come to the attack. It is Greg Ballard going back to Unseld. We start the fourth period. Wally Walker goes with Ballard. Very physical underneath.
Dandridge.
Bobby Dandridge, Mr. Clutch. 24 now. And the fourth period, when the Bullets make a run, usually belongs to Dandridge and Hayes. But keep an eye on the Sonic defense as the Bullets come down, because the Sonics have been absolutely magnificent. They've held the Bullets under 20 points 4 times in 4 different quarters already in this championship series.
That 92 to 82 game was a low score. We got another one going again. Very physical game, and it will always come off that way.
Nobody's hit 100 points yet. The completion of the 2 games. Ballard, and underneath is Wild.
We'll have an offensive foul caught here. It's out. Watch Hayes here with Salas. Boy, they are really rocking at it. And Paul Salas is bumping them all over the floor.
3 fouls on the Big E.
I don't know how that was a foul on the Big E that time.
Hardly. Salas was really moving it, but they called it on Elvin. That's his third.
Silas fakes.
Call for traveling.
Travel on the turnover.
Paul had faked the Big E out of position and just lost the handle on the ball.
You had saddles to sell here. You could really make yourself a bundle.
Unseld took a little bump at DJ over there in the left corner. Anderson moves it now. Good fake. Good pass by Dandridge. Hayes field goal.
In the fourth quarter, it's been Bobby Dandridge and the E who have carried the Bullets this far in the playoffs. But in this series, they've only combined for, well, now that's 2 points for the E. That's only 10 points, Brent.
That's his first field goal, Rick, since the first period. And here's the blonde bomber. Sigma quiets him down. It's 19 for Sigma. 83-70.
He has that confidence. He turns faces to the basket. And as we mentioned earlier, he can easily get the shot over 6-7 Unseld.
Henderson on the spin. His third field goal here in the second half. 7 points for the game. 24 for Mr. Clutch, 11 for the Big E, and 20 for the Incredible Hulk. Up front for the Bullets. Around comes to the baseline. Underhand scoop, taken down by the chairman. Off down to Dandridge, and he's fouled. Freddie Brown was up on the hill.
Does Rick Barry have a nickname, Brent?
Rick, did you ever have a nickname when you played?
I've had many names.
Let's see. You know what, the crew gave him a nickname, Rod?
What's that?
Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah. Of course, if you ever get involved, a little card game could be largemouth bass.
Henderson spins inside the glass. Yanked off by the chairman. Here comes downtown. Freddie to the jumper. Short. They'll keep control. Touched by the Bullets.
Here's the shot by Freddie, putting it up a little short. He normally would have hit that shot, and then the ball was knocked out of bounds. A good break there for the Bullets. If they can hold them and get a hoop here, they're right back in the game. They would only be down 9.
DJ goes to Sigma. Look at the double team on Sigma. And he sent it right back to Dennis. Cross court to Brown. Downtown.
He missed the easier one to start with, comes back and hits one from way out in that left corner. Downtown Brown.
It's important for the Sonics to try to keep it over 10 points, because psychologically when you get under 10, it helps the other team.
Running layup by Henderson, who's starting to sparkle offensively here for the first time in the series in the second half. He's working in the backcourt with Dandridge. Here's Ballard up front with Unseld and Hayes. They've stayed with that alignment. Downtown's cooking.
He's hit 6 out of 8 shots. Downtown has got to go.
Dandridge to the attack, 87-74. Bullets trail. Unseld, look at him set that screen on that side. Henderson doesn't run him in. There was contact underneath. Silas knocked it out.
Dick Mata and Bernie Bickerstaff, the assistant coach, are really upset. Well, the way that Salas has been working against Hayes inside.
Ballard. Greg Ballard. Another important defensive sequence coming up here for the Bullets. If they can stop them, they have a chance to go down, cut it back underneath 10 points. And as I just pointed out, psychologically, that's a big difference. Makes you feel good to get it back down under 10.
And there's 8:20, so a lot of time. Brown fouled as he turned the corner.
Here's Freddie Brown in isolation. Gets down low, comes round off the screen, being sent by Silas, continues around Sigma, loses his man behind him, right there, the reach in that time by Bobby D, his first foul of the game, first team foul. I tell you, it's really nice as a player, Rod, you could vouch for this, to run around out there and have 2 and 3 picks being set for you.
You bet. Especially if you can shoot the ball like Freddie Brown. What a great natural touch. Excellent free throw shooter as well as a jump shooter from anywhere on the floor. They play the perfect team game, the Seattle club.
89-76 at the 8:13 mark. In Game 3 of this World Championship Series. Game 4 coming up Tuesday night on CBS. Henderson is short. Silas hands the minutes.
Well, Freddie Brown, the man keeping that 13-point bulge there. He's got, what, 6 in a row, I believe, Brent. 6 points.
Shelton sends it back, and here he is. A marvelous rebound by Shelton, but he loses it. Here comes Dandridge out. Dandridge, and the key is short. But let's keep it as Shelton and Sigma knock it out.
Looked like DJ, I believe, got a hand on that shot of Dandridge as he ran right to left with that one-hander. Great defensive play.
Ballard. So Greg has gone out to the perimeter for a couple of field goals. His first 2 of the game.
Right now, it's been Ballard and Henderson keeping the Bullets close.
Sigma is alone. That's 21 for the blonde bomber from Illinois Wesleyan.
Timeout, Washington.
And Unseld is furious as a timeout is called. The Bullets will go over and group around their coach, Dick Motta and Bernie Bickerstaff. They've got 7 minutes and 6 seconds to get back in this.
My professional Nikon and I made history last year. Now my new Nikon, the EM, is making history. Simple to use, easy to afford. Just focus. If the light's bad, it beeps. Just turn this till it stops. Got it. The new Nikon EM. Affordable and practically foolproof.
Why just buy a camera when you can buy a Nikon?
I'm Jim McKay for Timex. The most extraordinary thing about this quartz digital watch is not that it tells you the time all the time, night and day. Not that it's 99.997% accurate. Not that it costs only $32.95. No, the most extraordinary thing is... it's a Timex.
I can't believe they can do it for $19.99.
Installed? The aluminized Sears muzzler is only $19.99 installed. And read the muzzler promise.
Sears promises that the muzzler will last as long as you own your American-made car.
Or return it for refund or replacement free.
And if Sears installed it, they'll install the new one, free.
Well, you can't beat that.
I think it's fantastic.
It's a great promise.
Sounds like one heck of a good deal.
The muzzler, only $19.99 installed. Only at Sears.
Coming next, CBS Sports takes you to Dublin, Ohio for the Memorial Tournament. That's the Memorial Tournament next. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
And after this NBA action, we'll take you live to the final round of the Memorial Tournament with Tommy Watson, the leader. 91-78 and 7 minutes and 6 seconds left here in Seattle. I'm Brent Musburger along with Hot Rod Hundley and Rick Barry. Ballard lobs it in. Ansel, jump hook. Ansel. Back to 11.
Russ is tough. You let him get in close to that basket. He's got a nice little flea flicker hook shot. 3 to 5 feet out. Pretty good with it.
West got a hand and knocked it away from Sigma. Shot clock at 7. 6. Offensive rebound, Shelton.
And a big offensive rebound again. Put it back to 13. Not allowing the Bullets to have a chance to cut that lead under 10.
Kelly dropped back in there.
Unseld as he started to move. Foul.
Sigma. Freddie Brown dropped right back in. Now here's again where Mata complains about his own. Watch Freddie Brown cheating in. Then he comes across and Sigma got him with the body for the foul.
Frank, we have not seen the Big E or Bobby D be very much involved in this offense here in the fourth quarter. And so again, we've only gotten 2 points, I believe, out of those 2 players here in this fourth period.
Unseld, however, has contributed 8 of 17 from the field, 6 of 7 from the free throw line, 22 points, and 14 rebounds. DJ will rest for a time. And against this lineup, Lenny Wilkins will add a forward. John Johnson will work in that backcourt with Freddie Brown so that Johnson and Dandridge will match up. In effect, we have only one guarded team on the floor. White and Brown. Unseld reaching in on Sigma. And that for West.
All right, Sigma turning, face the basket. Right here's where he wants to fake and try to go up. Unseld knows and reaches in to knock the ball away, but got him on the arm.
5:59. Misses, loose, foul underneath.
We got this last play in isolation. Freddie got kicked in the head. Well, watch him make the move here, make a good back cut to lose this man, Larry Wright. He gets the ball, gives him a pump fake. Larry's there, watch him, boom, he got hit right in the head with Larry's right knee. No foul call, and that's why the crowd is reacting like it is now. There's Freddie down. Jack Sigma has meanwhile picked up his 5th foul, Brent.
And he's not hurt on the play. Freddie's up, he's all right. Are they booing?
That's a big play with Jack picking up number 5.
You don't get a foul on a play when Wright dives over Brown. Now Sigma with 5. Here it is again. Watch him hurdle right over him. Alley-oop. Not a whistle on that play.
Can I tell you all something?
Go ahead, Brent.
I don't think he was hit that hard. I thought he tried to draw the foul when he went down on the seat of his pants.
Well, here's the other angle.
I want to show you that he was hit right there.
The fact of the matter is he was hit with Larry's right. I won't say it again, but it's Larry's right knee.
Foul right on the drive. Gus Williams across. Brown is out. Williams is in.
Now, that time, Wright didn't hit him as hard as he did on that one he alley-ooped over Brown. Here's Wright just riding Gus through the screen from Sigma. And a whistle, and he's called for the body check.
Freddie watching. Shelton goes into Gus, who had replaced him. Field goal. Ballard from the left corner. That's 6 points rather from Ballard. 3 field goals here.
And all 3 of those buckets were long jumpers. He's got a nice touch outside.
4:53 left. 95-83. Sigma with the 5 fouls. Hands off to John Johnson. Battle, and it goes out of bounds. And it was over, and that time I thought Ballard hit it last.
You'll see him fight for the ball. Salas has got the inside track after Ballard dropped the ball, and they say that Salas touched it last.
Dandridge and Hayes with an offensive rebound. Now it is a 10-point game at 4:23.
Plenty of time left.
As Williams went to the spin, there was a foul.
Larry Wright. You ever see the replay? He's got his hand on Gus right there. He's just playing him with his hands, bumps him with the body there. Little forearm shot.
Larry Wright with his hands full defensively. The Sonics with 3 team fouls. The Bullets at the limit now with 4. Shelton.
Prevailed 119-111, with Dallas now looking to repeat as Western Conference champs in Both teams out.
That's 5 against Wright. Dennis Johnson comes in, and he will take Shelton out and move John Johnson back to forward. Now, Mata is conferring with Bickerstaff. They've got to make a decision on Larry Wright against Gus Williams.
It's not a very good foul, that last one. You hate to give a foul when you're in a penalty by just reaching in when a man's not in the act of shooting. In particular, a player like Gus, who's a good free throw shooter, even though he's had some bad moments in the first game.
He shot 75 during the regular season.
It'll be Charles Johnson, CJ, who will be checking in for the Bullets. It goes back to 11, 3:37. Unseld, passes it back. 6 on the shot, 5, and Dandridge with a runner.
Bobby D looked like he might have taken about 3 steps that time, and that's why the Seattle bench, they had gotten up. Let's watch him right now. He'll make his move right there, 1, 2, 3. That doesn't work.
At least 3.
26 for Bobby D. It's loose and retrieved by the Sonics. Silas came out. Sigma is off, and here come the Bullets. It was a Ballard rebound. They move it to Bobby in the corner. Here's Ballard, and Dennis Johnson got a hand on it and breaks free. Here comes DJ, up with the jump shot, offensive foul as he went into Ballard.
That was not a smart move. He didn't have a clear path to the basket. He should have taken that ball back outside. We'll see it here. Here's Ballard moving. Definitely a charge by Dennis Johnson. Great play by Ballard hustling down. The clock is your biggest ally. They could have used up more time on that one.
Hey, that Greg Ballard looks like he could be starting and playing about 42 minutes for some team in this league, Hot Rod.
With a lot of
He's been hitting outside. He's a fine basketball player. He'll get a chance.
That was a great play down there to take that charge.
My old buddy Jim was a great umpire. He was quick on his feet. He's got eyes like an eagle.
I'm still quick because I don't get filled up. I drink light beer from Miller. Light tastes great. It's less filling. It's got a... What's this say?
Here you go, Jim. Try those.
Oh, yeah. A third less calories than a regular beer. Hey, you're Boog Powell. Hey.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
This is it, America, the new Chevrolet.
America, if you're looking for a truly beautiful full-size car with more rear seat legroom,
This is it.
more headroom,
This is it.
and more trunk room.
This is it.
New Chevrolet, bought and embraced by more than 1 million people in its first 2 years. 79 Caprice and Impala, the new generation car America has driven to the top.
This is it, America, the new Chevrolet.
The Minolta XD11 is the world's first multi-mode 35mm reflex camera. Modern photography calls it
a new standard for its competitors to try to approach.
Professionals acclaim the XD11's creative versatility, but even more exciting is its point-focus shoot simplicity. Look through the ultra-bright viewfinder to see how electronics give you automatic pictures, even as the light changes. Modern photography calls the Minolta XD11 incredible. Minolta XD, the automatic choice of people who know photography.
For the first 3 periods, the Bullets shot only 27%. But here in the fourth, they have gone 10 of 17, 59%. 98-89 at the 2:30 mark. Sigma with the big E. Elvin to the glass. 98-91. This one's far from over.
DJ wanted to come back to help out on the play, but Elvin had already made his move baseline and got by Sigma for a layup.
Danridge and Charles Johnson are working at guard for Mata. DJ wanted Sigma off his hand and out of bounds.
All right, here they come. A lot of time left. 2 minutes and 8 seconds. 7-point game.
2 minutes. There's the 2-minute warning. Here's Greg Ballard. He's had the hand. Doesn't get the bounce. Unsell with a hand, and Sigma saves. Lob to Gus.
That's a good move by Gus. Hold it out. Use up the clock. You have to use the time up here. Plus you have an open layup.
Normally he would take that one and bust right in there, but as Rick said, that's very smart. Slow it down. You got the lead. You got the clock working for you.
Here's Sigma with 4 on the shot clock, and they've turned it over on the offensive foul. And the Bullets will go to the timeout.
At 6, he'll be out of the game. Here's the pass coming in. Right there with the left elbow. And made slight contact. I've seen a lot worse contact than that, and Sigma doesn't like it. Neither does Lenny Wilkins. But Jack is out. We'll take another angle and look at it again. Here's the play for the right side. There's West. Little bump, and right there was a contact.
You can feel the heat before you even get close. But the only way to kill the flames is to fight them face to face until they finally die, and you lead your men to cooler air and Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find, Miller High Life.
When it's time to relax, we got the beer, Miller beer.
Brother Dominic, I need... Never there when you need him.
The Xerox 9400 is one of the fastest duplicators in the world. It's also one of the easiest to operate. Push a few buttons and it can automatically feed and cycle originals, collate, and copy on both sides of a piece of paper. It's so easy to use, even the boss can use it.
Father, you did all this by yourself? Yes, Brother Dominic. It's a miracle.
General Motors Terex 3315B, one of the world's heaviest trucks, 234,000 pounds, empty. Chevy's half-ton four-wheel drive pickup, equipped with a standard 6-cylinder engine that's more powerful than you might suspect. Can it pull the Terex? Let's watch. This 6-cylinder Chevy has available automatic transmission, full-time four-wheel drive and 411 rear axle. The 6-cylinder Chevy pickup, amazingly powerful. Chevy trucks, built to stay tough.
Jack Sikma fouls out with 21 points, 10 of 14 from the field, 17 rebounds. Tommy Lagarde in civilian clothes, and how Lenny Wilkins could use the young man in the brown jacket bending over there. Injured his knee early in the season, so he's not been able to play. So up front there go Silas, Shelton, and John Johnson. It's a 7-point Seattle lead. Hayes double team on the turn. Misfired, and it's an offensive rebound, and there's a loose ball foul as Greg Ballard.
That's a good call. He was over the top. You look at it again. There's Ballard coming right in, right there. Leaned in. A good call going against the Bullets. 1:20 left.
At a critical moment.
Yes, and an interesting difference in statistics in this game and the last game. The Bullets turned the ball over 20 times in the last game. It really hurt them, especially in the third quarter. They only have 10 turnovers for this ball game, so it's been their poor shooting, but you have to credit a lot of that to the tough Seattle defense. Seattle, meanwhile, has turned it over 20 times, and they've made some crucial mistakes here late in this fourth quarter that have given a chance for this game to get a little bit closer than they probably would like.
One thing that has hurt Elvin Hayes' shooting, Brand, has been that double teaming. The small guard coming back, helping with the big man. It's like having a fly on your back, and it's making Elvin rush his shots all through the game.
Seattle is the first team to hit 100 points in this championship series, and they do it at 1:18 left. And it gives the Sonics a 9-point lead. The Bullets now must hurry into their offense. They have not got time to waste. Dandridge with a runner. Back to 7 at 1:05, and here comes the pressure. That's 28 now for Dandridge. Williams will dribble it up on Charles Johnson, bringing the clock inside of a minute. John Johnson, 8 on the shot clock. Goes cross court to DJ, moves to the glass. Good. It's a big basket for the Sonics with 45 seconds to go.
That really can seal the victory here for the Seattle team. Good defense by the Bullets. They forced a tough pass, but it was lucky for Seattle. They picked it up. DJ goes in, gets fouled, makes the basket. Chance to put it away.
One thing that really hurts them there is they commit a foul with only about 4 seconds on the shot clock. After letting it run all the way down, they should have backed off and let them have the shot, make them shoot out front.
Washington with 1 timeout, Seattle with 3. Dandridge against the double team. DJ was there. Silas to the rebound. 32 seconds. The Sonics will take a lead in this championship series. Gus foul by Dandridge.
Well, this one should be history. 26 seconds left of the game. I would have to think that Dennis Johnson will be the most valuable player in the game.
Player of the game, I go for Dennis Johnson.
That's fine.
Jack Sikma was outstanding, but I think it was Dennis's play at the start of the game that really ignited the whole Seattle team.
There's another Dennis Johnson that ended the 2 with a 3-point play a moment ago.
There's another fella who should be considered for the losers, and that's Big Wes Unseld.
No question, he was outstanding, and I think that Gus Williams also had a great game for Seattle.
Dennis Johnson gets our unanimous vote out here.
We got a vote from the truck, but we don't really care about that vote.
26 seconds. 105-93.
The Bullets will be back. You can't count them out. They're experienced ball club.
Hayes fouled.
I think that the Spurs might have counted them out, and they showed what can happen when you do that. That's why they're the defending champions, because they have a lot of character, and they'll be back into this contest. You can rest assured they have one more chance to win one.
I thought that Dandridge was a better guard here in Game 3 than he was in Game 2, and that might be the alignment that Mata will eventually have to go with.
I remind you, Tuesday night the game will be at the Coliseum, not here at the Kingdome, which seats only 14,000, as opposed to 35,900 here this afternoon.
And the 35,000 coming to their feet. 105-95. Seattle beats Washington and takes a 2-1 lead in the NBA World Championship Series. Our CBS player of the game, Dennis Johnson, 17 points, 9 assists, and 9 rebounds. And thanks to our crew here in Seattle, Charles Milton, the executive producer, Bob Stenner, our producer, Tony Verna, our director, and the rest of the fellows who did a marvelous job. We'll see you all Tuesday night for Game 4. The Memorial Golf Tournament is next. For Rick Barry and Hot Rod Huntley, this is Brent Musburger saying so long from the Kingdome in Seattle. The NBA on CBS is a presentation of CBS Sports.
When you watch the NBA, when you watch the NBA on CBS, you'll see the best in basketball on CBS. When you watch the
This is CBS.